Welcome to U Prime Podcast. These are a bunch of podcasts that we're doing that should be in the public domain. These are being done for the public interest. So we get started with the opening podcast.
One last question based on what you said before, that people think maths is all about calculation and your counting skills, and that is actually arithmetic, not mathematics.
Yeah.
So in your article, you have said that the real math starts when you are getting into undergrad, right?
Yeah.
So how, if you had to change something about, so many smart kids are out there who do not take math because they think it's all about numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So if you had to change something about the current system to make sure that kids these days understood what real math was, what would you do?
So if you go to a music class, and I think you will be more qualified to understand this.
Yeah.
You don't. So if you go to a music class, you won't be given a guitar and you will be asked to play anything that you want, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be shown the works of the masters that have come before you, and you will draw inspiration from these masters and then try to compose music, as it were.
That's
Mathematics, nobody knows about the masters that have lived before and their work. If you go to any European city, you will see a lot of monuments and museums built on art. People draw inspiration from art and then they try to become artists, which isn't happening in mathematics. So
right.
if you ask if you take a survey of any random 100 people and ask who the great mathematicians are, unless they have heard the person's name in popular media or in television, they won't know what the previous work is. So that's a major fact as to why people are not drawn to this. And I would go as far as to say not drawn to it. They're repulsed by the subject. They're repulsed by the subject because they don't know the beauty and the structure that exists in it. And that's one of the reasons people give up on it long before they're even made aware as to what it is.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do hope that kids kind of try and learn from the experts.
Yeah. And now you have an economic motive.
Yeah,
I describe in the very first paragraph that society, the social ladder, as it were, the economic ladder of society, is literally divided based on your familiarity with the mathematics or not. I mean, if you're familiar with mathematics, it might so happen that you will end up in a job and a lifestyle which would kind of lend itself to a comfortable life. If you're not familiar with it, you might as well work for somebody who is probably more familiar and is more comfortable with that language. So it's not about choice anymore. You either learn it or you don't. If you don't learn it, and the fact that now computers play such a critical role in our society, even if you want to do biology and you want to prove something, it has to be through simulations because you cannot enter a real body and do an experiment, as it were. So the scientific method, if it has to proceed in any other discipline, has to take mathematics into account, has to take computers, and it's almost vital that you learn mathematics now. I mean, it's come to a point, and the vitality will increase over a period of time as opposed to go down the other way. Thanks everyone for watching the podcast. I hope you had a good time understanding and listening to all these things. Hope you come back and watch more.